We have 18 laps of action here in Austria for the LGN Grand Prix. Dom lead, followed by Sizzling H. All the cars get underway as we come down to turn 1. Active Buffalo's up into third. Dom leads this race round the first corner. Sizzling H goes slightly wide, and now Gerald Crisp goes up into P4. Relic is side by side, the Haas driver and the Alfa Romeo driver. Relic getting the move done, putting his car up into P4. Active Buffalo into P5. LJ up into P6. Here's a look at AJP's race start. That is not the best starts from the McLaren driver. And there goes Ollie, Active Buffalo, Gerald Crisp, Relic, as well as LJ, all getting themselves ahead of AJP at the start. AJP also getting a warning for a collision with LJ, and that saw him down into 8th right at the start of this race. As we get the on-board of Gerald Crisp, late braking and makes contact with the Ferrari of Active Buffalo just ahead. Gerald Crisp is going to give himself wing damage. It has caused the yellow flag, but Gerald Crisp might have to go into the pits with wing damage. We're under virtual safety car conditions after Gerald Crisp's incident with Active Buffalo, and that is Gerald Crisp going into the pits. He has wing damage here on lap 1. He might not be the only driver to go into the pits. Lugner also going into the pits, and Jack also in the pits as well. Ollie stays out. He's in P3. 6 drivers have gone into the pits, but Ollie stays out, as well as Sizzling H and Dom, the leader of this race. Blazer, Harry Sanchez and Joe Evan are also out. LJ leads from Active Buffalo, Relic, Blazer, as Harry Sanchez behind him, and JC, and then Evan. Harry Sanchez tries to set one down the inside of the Williams driver of Blazer. Dom sets the fastest lap, and now Sizzling H, and now Ollie gets the fastest lap at 1:08.2. Harry Sanchez is sending it down the inside again of Blazer and making the move, putting his Red Bull up into P7. Evan gets the fastest lap on the medium compound of tyre at 1:07.9. The Williams driver and the Ferrari driver are side by side. Blazer goes down the inside of JC and gets the move done. And now up next is JC's teammate, Active Buffalo. Gerald Crisp finds himself behind Jack, currently in P13. Jack's in P12. Gerald Crisp further down the order than he'd like to be. Sirius is in P14 just behind them. Harry Sanchez sets the fastest lap of the race. But Gerald Crisp is going to try and hunt down Jack in P12. Evan and Blazer find themselves extremely close. Evan getting the move done on Blazer. They've got the 2 Ferraris just ahead of him. Evan sends it down the inside of Blazer. Can he get the move? Blazer has to try to defend, but loses out, and Evan is passed. Next up are the 2 Ferraris. Blazer is going to try and stay behind Evan and follow the slipstream. Both Ferraris getting extremely close to the Haas driver, and Active Buffalo has spat out Relic. Relic goes down into P10, and that's a big incident from the Ferrari driver. He's going to lose 2 positions to Evan and Blazer. Blazer put himself up into P7. Evan getting an illegal overtake and giving the position back. On board then with Sirius, the Aston Martin driver, currently in P13. He's 0.5 seconds behind the Alpine driver of Jack. He'll be looking to get in the top 10 to score points on the board for his team. Evan is gaining on Active Buffalo. They're getting extremely close. 0.2 seconds separate the 2 drivers as they come down onto the straight. Blazer's just ahead of him. Active Buffalo might have some defending to do. There's a yellow flag, and Jack has retired from this race. JC overtakes Dom. Dom, the race leader, is now in P7. He has pitted. Ollie is now into first. The Mercedes driver is leading this race here on lap 7. Blazer is having to defend off the Rebel driver of Evan. Active Buffalo also follows them as Ollie, Sizzling H and LJ go into the pits. Evan has sent it down the inside of Blazer and has got his car up into P3, but Blazer gets the move back and stays in P3. Blazer, the Williams driver, is defending for his life. Gerald Crisp is 0.1 seconds behind LJ, goes round the outside and puts his car ahead of the AlphaTauri driver of LJ. Gerald Crisp goes up into P10. Relic has retired from this race and has brought out a safety car. JC gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Lugner has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So both Lugner and JC getting penalties. Lugner's going to have to serve his drive-through to the safety car. He finds himself in P7, but now he's going to come tumbling down the order as he goes into the pits. The safety car is coming in. Dom leads this race here on lap 11. He's followed by Harry Sanchez and then Ollie. Ollie gets a 3-second time penalty, but then he's followed by JC, Sizzling H, Gerald Crispin 6th, LGN 7th, Blazer in 8th, Evan in 9th, and Sirius in 10th, with Levi all the way down in 11th, as Sizzling H is getting close to the Ferrari driver of JC. AJP gets a 3-second time penalty. The drivers all following each other down towards sector 2. Blazer has to defend off Evan, and attacks it down the inside. Blazer on the outside. It's defending from Blazer in P8, and he still has Evan behind him in P9. The Red Bull driver struggling to get past the Williams driver of Blazer. The two Alfa Romeos are getting extremely close. They've done this so many times this season. Sizzling H and Gerald Crisp switch positions, but is it team orders or is it just great battling between the two Alfa Romeos? Gerald Crisp finds himself just ahead of his teammate Sizzling H. Next up is JC. There's a yellow flag and Evan is still trying to get his car ahead of the Williams driver of Blazer. Blazer still in P8 following LJ. Evan still can't get his car past Blazer. Now he might be able to attack down the inside here on turn 1. Can he get his car ahead of Blazer? He certainly can. Evan getting himself up into P8. Blazer down into P9. There's no team orders at Alfa Romeo. Sizzling H is going to send it around the outside of his teammate Gerald Crisp. They're going to get close, and Sizzling H gets his car ahead of Gerald Crisp up into P5. Harry Sanchez making the move on Ollie and putting his car up into P2. The Red Bull driver with a fantastic move on the Mercedes driver of Ollie up into P2. Down the straight we go. LJ thinking about the move on the Alfa Romeo cars, who are still extremely close to each other. Gerald Crisp is going to get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but he might try and make a move on his teammate again. They're getting close once again this race. Gerald Crisp sending it down the inside of Sizzling H, and you can see the Alpine driver of Levi is gaining on them. Both Alfa Romeos are slowing each other down. Levi tacks it down the inside of both Alfa Romeos. He gets Gerald Crisp and he gets his car ahead of Sizzling H. Levi out of nowhere finds himself up into P5. There's a yellow flag in sector 1, but Levi is in the podium fight. He's ahead of both Alfa Romeos, and Sizzling H is still under pressure from his teammate of Gerald Crisp. LJ and Evan are now gaining. There's almost 5-6 cars as they clash wheels. The Alfa Romeo drivers, as Harry Sanchez gets a 3-second time penalty. It's getting close with only 3 laps to go. Levi gets the fastest lap of the race. JC gets a 3-second time penalty, and now Gerald Crisp is under pressure from the Red Bull driver of Evan. Both Alfa Romeos are under pressure. LJ's trying to get his car ahead of Sizzling H, and Gerald Crisp is now trying to get his position back on Evan as he tucks his car down the inside, almost making contact with the AlphaTauri driver of LJ. But there's been an incident between LJ and Sizzling H, and Sizzling H has had a crash and finds himself down into P9. Gerald Crisp is up into P6 with LJ in P7. Dom still leads here on lap 17. That's how close it is between himself, Harry Sanchez, Ollie Levi and JC. LJ going wheel to wheel with Gerald Crisp, gets his car ahead, and now Evan's trying to get his car ahead, but Gerald Crisp makes contact with the Red Bull driver. Evan going slightly off track. LJ's up into P6 with Gerald Crisp down into P7, and Evan finds himself still in 8th. Levi is up into P3. He's overtaken Ollie. Ollie wants to fight back for his podium position. He's going to try and send it down the inside of Levi. Levi's under pressure. Ollie tries to get the move done. Slows JC down in the process. Levi still ahead and in P3. AJP sets the fastest lap at 1:06.6 as Evan sends around the outside of Gerald Crisp and getting the move done. Evan up into P7. He struggled this race, but he's ahead of the Alfa Romeo driver of Gerald Crisp. Dom's going to cross the line to win his first race here in Season 3. Dom wins the Austria LGN Grand Prix. Harry Sanchez comes home in 2nd. And Levi, out of absolutely nowhere, finishes on the podium in P3. Ollie comes home in P4. Evan in 5th. LJ in 6th. Gerald Crisp in 7th. JC in 8th. Sizzling H in 9th. And Blazer with a final point in 10th. We have a brand new winner for the 3rd race in a row. It's the McLaren driver of Dom who wins the LGN Austria Grand Prix. After winning the sprint race yesterday, he gets the back-to-back and wins the Grand Prix here today in 1st. Harry Sanchez, the Red Bull driver, comes home in 2nd, and Levi, out of absolutely nowhere, finishes off the podium in P3. Before you go anywhere, let's take a look at the Drivers' and Constructors' League standings. Here's how the Drivers' League standings look after today's race in Austria. Levi still leads on 227 points. Evan is in second. After Dom's win today, he goes up into third, with Gerald Crisp going down to fourth. AJP is in fifth, Ollie in sixth, Sizzling H in seventh, Harry Sanchez in eighth, Lugner in ninth, LJ in 10th, Totally JD in 11th, Bree in 12th, Blazer in 13th, JC in 14th, Jack in 15th, Sirius in 16th, Relic in 17th, Buffalo in 18th, Agile in 19th, and Entire YOLO is in 20th. And here are the Constructors' League standings after today's race. Alpine are still in first on 250 points. McLaren are in second, Red Bull in third, Alfa Romeo in fourth, Mercedes in fifth, Williams in sixth, Aston Martin in seventh, AlphaTauri in eighth, Ferrari in ninth, and Haas are in 10th. Thank you for watching today's video. We'll see you next time around France.